Well, how's it going, everybody? Today is Friday, February 21st, I believe, and we're out here. We want to start grazing this. This is what we call either the spring pond or 36 and 37. These used to be two fields that were numbered 36 and 37. We took the fence out of the middle a long time ago, and then right up in there, there's a natural spring that we dug a pond, and then that spring's filling that pond up. So actually right here where I park, the grass isn't that good, but right over here, I'd say about 80% of it's really good. The deal we got going on is the creek is eroding, and you can see the wood post laying down there, and the electric fence is way down there now. So we're gonna have to cut off the wood post and then end up straightening this fence out, and we'll probably just actually end up going right here where I'm standing. Hate to do it, but that's what happens. About 10 years ago, built fence around both sides. Spiderweb. Built fence around both sides of the creek. You know, because that's what people like to see is cows not standing in the creek or anything like that. You know, and it all staying clean. But I think what that has done is caused more erosion because the habitat on the edge of the creeks have grown up. So then more trees, smaller trees like these here, I think those are called poppies, things like that right there. So then what has happened is as floodwater comes in, those little trees fall into the creek, and then causing where the water's wanting to rush, but instead of having a nice clean creek, it's got I'm going to call it debris or trash from the sticks and limbs and branches and the small trees falling in, and then it causes a whirlpool. You can actually, you might not be able to tell on the camera, but right now that water is, you can watch the bubbles, it's spinning right there. And then so as it spins, it does this and eats out the good ground. It looks like it's actually backfilling over there because the creek used to run where that sandbar is, and now it's over 10 foot this way, and then probably another couple years it'll end up taking this whole corner off and or this whole edge and trying to straighten itself out, I guess. But when I built this fence, like I said, 10 years ago, that wood post was put about 5 feet from the edge of the bank. So you can tell how much is gone now, a good 10 foot. And yeah, well, anyway, but the point is I want to get this fence up, and I want to take down, I got a reel sitting over there keeping the bred heifers on their side, and yesterday happened to get the 4 bulls that were breeding, or the 4 bulls that were left that were breeding last year have been sitting over there. There was 2 other bulls that had gotten out at 2 different times and ended up just going ahead and hauling them off, but those 4 bulls have just been sitting over there since June when we pulled them out last year. But with beef prices being low, just didn't want to haul them off. And they're starting to go up. Prices are looking pretty good right now, so we went ahead and got rid of them yesterday, which I should have filmed that. That was fun. But the reason I haven't put those heifers in here yet is because there's just electric fence keeping those 2 pastures separate, and that would have not been good because them bulls would have just ended up over here in these heifers, and then they were. My guess is they're going to weigh about 1,500 pounds, so they would have messed some heifers up. So now that they're gone, we're going to get this done, get this fence pulled up. So we'll run down here and we'll cut this and get it pulled up here. So we got our wires pulled up, had to pull them out of the ground, and then had to go around a couple of little small trees, and then had to pull a limb off over there. But I thought I'd go over something real quick, what's been going on and why we haven't had any videos lately. So since the beginning of January, actually it was a little bit before Christmas, I had a guy quit, just kind of out of nowhere. I think the reason is his dad's been working for us for about 12 years, and he's worked for us for a few years on and off, and I think he just wanted to go away from his dad and be able to party and stuff. So he quit, and then that kind of just put us in a little bit of a bind, and then we were running pretty good through the first part of January. And about 3/4 of the way through January, had another guy that was milking. He had worked for us for about 8 or 10 months or so. I think he was just getting tired, and then from the longer hours with all the pretty much 99% of the cows in milk now. We do only have like 9 cows left to, or actually 8 today. So now we're down to 8 cows left to calve. So we're right around 600 head going through the barn, which is taking about 7 hours a shift, which is way too damn long. But anyway, so that guy ended up quitting, which put us in a little bit of a bigger hurt. I was able to hire a guy around the same time, and then I had 2 guys outside. You probably heard me call their names, Easton and Ryan, a couple times. They both quit right around February 1st. One, I think, because he didn't like it, and the other one, he said he got offered another job for more money, which wasn't too sad to see him go, because one was kind of being a pain in the butt, and the other one I had to call all the time and wake him up and stuff like that. So I was like, that's fine. And then so we were running a little bit of a skeleton crew, and then about 10 days into February, that guy that I hired, he had been working for about 3 weeks, he quit. And so that really put us in a big bind. So to put in perspective, we're milking about 600 head. We got 550 heifers that are from breeding age to baby calf. And then on top of that, because of the beef prices, bull calves aren't worth anything. We tried to haul about 20 calves off at the first of the calving season that were bull calves, nice healthy bull calves that were ready to wean, and they brought about $30 a piece. That's what they averaged, and so we decided to keep them all again this year. So with them, we probably have, off the top of my head, 150 or so that we're also feeding. So that's 700 head plus about 1,300 head altogether. So we were down to 2 guys milking, and then outside was me, my dad, Wes, and then my younger brother Jeremy. It was just 3 of us outside. So there was 4 or 5 nights that I ended up milking, and then when I did those milkings, I was only getting about 2 or 3 hours of sleep at night, which that was pretty hard, and I just couldn't. I was really milking, trying to help those 2 guys out that were doing the milking, and so they could get done earlier, but it wasn't really making a difference with 3 guys milking. It still was taking as long as it was taking. So I had to kind of quit milking and go back to doing my normal stuff outside, and then so since then, or in the last 2 weeks, I've hired 4 guys. One of them is still working. The other 2 are 2 guys. One worked for 2-3 days, and then he quit, which he's a little scary. And then the other guy, he told me that he was awesome. He could do the work of 2 or 3 guys, that I was gonna love him, all this stuff. The first day he showed up 4 hours late, and then he worked one day, and the next day he was sick and ended up leaving. And then the other guy, he showed up one morning. He was gonna work outside with Jeremy, and he went to lunch, and then he called me and said he got a job offer that he couldn't pass up, and he had to take it. So we're still where we are. Oh, I did get another guy hired, and he's still milking, and he's doing pretty good. So right now I got 3 guys milking and 3 guys outside, and it takes about 9 guys. Sometimes it feels like 10 guys to cover everything, including me and my dad and my brother. So haven't had any videos lately, because that's all we've been doing is just that, and just trying to survive and trying to sleep when we can. But haven't had time to do anything else. Wes did get the parts for the Kenworth yesterday, and trying to get some stuff going. So anyway, that's where we're at, and that's where I've been for the last couple weeks. We'll get this fence done. And on top of that, we've had some weather that is unbelievable. Let's see, like 2 weeks ago we were at like 70 degrees, 75 degrees. 2 days later it snowed. I'll insert some pictures real quick, and then the snow only lasted till about noon and then went away or melted off. It was like a ½ inch to an inch, and then let's see, then by that weekend it was 80 degrees, and then we got like 4 inches of rain over 4 days, and then when it started raining it was 75, 80 degrees, and then the last 3 days it rained it was like 30 to 40 degrees, and then it was 80 degrees again, and then we just went through about 2 days of rain and got about another 2 inches of rain, and it was 30 something degrees this morning. So weather's been up and down and all over the place, so and that's on top of all the other crap. But we just need to drive down this fence and check it, make sure there's no other places. I think the rest of it's good. I think it's got to go down there and jump it and make it hot again, and then we can go take this reel down and let these heifers in here. Alright, so we got the fence fixed, got it back hot, got the gate put up, got the reel taken up, and the heifers are just freaking 20 yards that way, and they haven't figured, oh wait, I see one. Well anyway, when I was coming around this corner, a bobcat ran across here, so I could have got killed too. That bobcat. Anyway, we'll give them heifers a second, see if they'll run out here. Kind of ruin my shot right now because they're not doing what I want them to. But the labor thing is just it's just a phase. It's just what happens. I mean, you know, you stick guys together that you know, they start fighting or arguing or whatever, if that was even the case, and then you know, you get guys that are tired, or you get somebody that's offered something else, and it all kind of happens all at once, and then it's hard to hire new guys in that kind of a case, because you know, you're kind of throwing them to the wolves on a oh, they're there. You're kind of throwing them to the wolves, you know, with that that amount of hours and that amount of cows. Well, even though that's not a lot of cows, it's just basically the hours. If you've never milked before, you have to be in milking shape. I mean, I haven't milked in a couple years, and I mean, my calves and my shoulders and all that were sore just from those 4 or 5 nights. So it's hard to get a new guy to stay and go or keep working in those kind of situations. Come on, morons, let's go. Yeah, there's no rail there. Let's go. Run across there. Come on now. Today. Dum-dums. Anyway, the worst time that I can ever think of was about 2 years ago in 2017. It was it was March 7th, which is Wes's birthday, and just kind of all hell broke loose. It was already declining like it was this time again, but that's when it all came to end up being worse than it is right now, and that was like 45 days of pure hell. We were down to Jeremy wasn't really working then, so it was me, Wes, another guy, and another guy. It was 4 of us doing about the same damn thing that we are now. So yeah, it was bad, and I hope it never happens like that again. I think we're already climbing out of it now, so we didn't get as bad then. And like I said, that was 45 days of 2 or 3 hours of sleep at night. So there they go. They finally figured it out. Enough of me yapping. We're gonna see what we can get done for the rest of the day. We are actually in the process. We've worked on it a few hours here and a few hours there of removing one of the employee houses, and we bought a new house and trying to get rid of the old one and put in a new one. Maybe that'll help keep employees happy. So we'll let these carry on. I think there's about 125 heifers over here with the bull, 6 or 7 bulls. So they're see, how old are these? I need to bring another group over here. That's actually on my list of things to do, which I've already done it. Should have done it about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But these heifers here are, there's a couple carryovers, not very many this year. And what I mean by carryovers is they didn't get bred last year, but they were young enough that we could keep them. And then the majority of these other ones are, God, what are they? It's basically March, so there's 18 months old. anywhere from 15 to 18 months old, somewhere in there. 16 to 18 months old. I just botched all that up, so yeah. Anyway, let's get out of here. I'm not sure if I mentioned that we are grazing 24 hours now, so we're grazing grass that looks like this. This is group 1. They've been out here for 4 hours now or so. They got another 3 or 4 hours to go before they got to go milk again. But all 3 groups are going 24 hours now. Grass is growing really good, even though we didn't get to put the fertilizer out because we got too much water and snow and all the other crap. Hopefully we'll put out fertilizer here when it dries up enough. Well, it's Saturday night now. I'm actually working the feed lane for now. Group 1's gone, and Group 2's a little over halfway done. So we're about to be going to get Group 3, and then I think Allie, my 13-year-old daughter, is filling up bottles, and Jeremy was setting out bales. I think he just finished, and then they'll go feed calves together. And then Wes is over here cleaning up the mess from setting a trailer house on fire today. We bought a new house. I'll explain that in a minute. Jeremy set up bales, now he's got a slice. Yeah, so the house used to sit over there, running the opposite way. But we took the track hoe, sitting down there right now, hooked onto it and pulled it over here, and we lit it on fire today. And should have a new house coming in a few days. And then as soon as that one's all set up and guys moved into it, we'll go do the same thing to the other one and just get rid of both of them and get 2 new houses. Anyway, let's go get the cows up. We need to push feed for Group 2 real quick before we go. So if you notice, towards the front has less feed than the cows in the middle, and obviously this feed's untouched still, is because as they get milked and they come out, they start locking up. So the first part of them have already been in here for, let's say 45 minutes or so, and then they'll be basically out of feed when the last one comes in, and then we'll start unlocking them. We're gonna go close the gate on Group 1, and then we're gonna go get in Group 3. So here we are opening the gate for Group 3. It's time for them to go to the barn to milk. What? So group 3 is all the fresh cows that are under 3 weeks in milk, and then the rest of them are all first lactation heifers. Alright, now that they're all headed in the right direction, we're going to go back and reel up this reel. You can see where they've grazed today, and then you can see just on the other side of the string where they'll graze tonight. They'll have all this section here. They actually left more grass than I would like them to, but there's a big pond in the middle, so you kind of have to split this field up a little differently. They kind of get a great big section in the beginning, and then they, like tonight, they'll get a little bit of a smaller section, hoping they back graze a little bit and clean it up a little bit better. We're gonna reel this reel up, and then we'll get in behind the cows. Alright, reel is reeled up. We'll just kind of shine our headlights around, make sure all the cows took off and nobody's laying down or hiding out somewhere. All the cows are on the lane. We're going to set up the gates for group 2 and then close the gates for where group 3 is going. What? So now we just parked our four-wheeler back here, and then we walk group three in the rest of the way. Tonight it wasn't too bad. They were only about 2/10 of a mile away. Sometimes they can be up to a mile away. That's our furthest field's a mile away from the back of the dairy barn. So we'll get these cows walked in. All right, we got group 3 all in the barn. They got about, let's see, 12 or 13 cows left of group 2. And then they've already got group 3 on this side. So we'll head back up to the feed lane and push some feed. Looks like Jeremy and Allie are done passing out bottles. Headed back up to the barn. We're just washing our boots off. So we're gonna walk down here to get the Kubota to keep pushing feed. Be another couple minutes when that last side gets out, but we're gonna see how this video turns out. It may not be worth, or it may not be that great of a video, but we're gonna see how it turns out. And then the reason for doing YouTube videos is just for the fun and for the memories of how we did things and how things were. You know, hopefully we can look back at this 10 years from now and be like, ha, remember that? And then also having my kids here, you know, Allie's feeding calves, helping feed calves. You know, I'll always have that memory, and then she can also look back on this years from now and say, hey, remember when I was 13 and feeding calves? and then one case comes over here and all that good stuff, and then when Weslin's old enough to come over here. So with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Hopefully, you know, I get a little more free time and we can make these things a little bit better. But thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.